There are groups that have helped save babies. There are groups that have actively helped to save babies and they'll never know. There are groups that have gotten a call 4, 5, 6, 10 years later and was like, hey, you talked to me on campus one day and that was everything to me. That changed, literally changed the course of a life.
Join Louisiana Right to Life in protecting the vulnerable as we share pro-life stories, insights, and news from the Pelican State. Welcome to the Pro-Life Pod.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Pro-Life Pod. My name is Ben Clapper, Director of Louisiana Right to Life, and we're here today to talk about all things pro-life. We're here in our New Orleans office, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you and your family are having a blessed season. And we have a great episode today. We got a great guest with us, and that's Cailey Wickens, who is the Southern Campus Formation Coordinator for Students for Life of America. Cailey, welcome to the show today.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
Good. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, before we begin, any special family traditions? Anything unique?
I don't think so. This is my first Christmas with my husband. It's a married couple. So I think our Christmas tradition right now is baking sourdough for our family. So
Well, you just dropped off to us some sourdough
I
bread,
did.
so we're excited to taste it. So sourdough, that's your thing?
That's kind of our thing right now. Yeah, we're really excited about it.
Very cool. Well, our family, my wife is Polish, so we do a big Christmas Eve Polish celebration with pierogies and flaki and all these things. So
Oh.
pretty cool. Very good. All right, so Southern Campus Formation Coordinator. I think I got it the first time.
You
Right?
did. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, just tell us in a nutshell before we begin what you do. You're with Students for Life of America. If everyone knows a little bit about Students for Life of America, great organization doing pro-life work on college campuses around the country. But tell us what your role is with the organization.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's over 1,600 student groups across the country. And my role is to help start those groups up. So I cover the states of Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and Georgia.
That's a big area.
It's pretty big. Yeah. I stay local with my travels. I travel mainly within Louisiana and Mississippi, but I've been kind of a little bit of everywhere this semester. So it's been really fun to see a bunch of the different student groups. But yeah, my main job is to offer free resources, speaking, I'm so sorry, and trainings to students, as well as help them get their groups off the ground and running. So it's been really fun to meet these students that are really passionate about the pro-life movement all across the South.
And tell us, for someone who doesn't know anything, what is a pro-life group on a college campus?
Yeah, absolutely. A pro-life group looks like many different things. So some of our groups are really focused on supporting their pregnancy resource centers, doing baby drives and things like that. Some of our groups are really focused on lobbying and politics. And they'll be at the Capitol all the time trying to lobby for new legislature. There are some of our groups that are really active on their campus. We have one group in our region who they table once a week, every week. And they're just there to have open conversation and dialogue with students on their campus about what the pro-life movement is and what it means to be pro-life and when life starts. So it looks very different for every group. And it spans more than just college as well. We have groups that are in middle school and high school and grad school. So it's all kind of about finding what their niche is and where they fit within the pro-life movement.
Yeah, but in the end, it's these students are organized together to expand it, to share the pro-life movement in whatever capacity they're doing it, to expand it, to change hearts and minds, right?
Absolutely.
So important.
Absolutely. That is the goal. The goal is to change hearts and minds and to make abortion unthinkable in our lifetime also.
Yeah, well, it's really important to me what you're doing because way back in the day, as a college student myself, my wife and I were very active. Then just my girlfriend, my friend, very active in the pro-life cause. Actually, she was one of Students for Life of America's first full-time field representatives doing what she was in Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama. I'm pretty sure she started the pro-life group at the University of Alabama. So, which I think still exists today.
It does. Yeah. I was actually there just a few weeks ago and did a tabling with those students. So still going strong.
Yeah. So important what you're doing. So thanks for doing that hard work.
Thank you. Thank you for all the work that y'all do with Louisiana Right to Life. I was really excited to get back home and to be able to collaborate with y'all on things and work together within our state. So
yeah. back home, then where did you grow up and where were you that you had to come back home?
Yeah, so I'm from Alexandria, from the Central Louisiana region. I graduated back in 2022 from Louisiana Tech up in Ruston, and I joined AmeriCorps, and it took me all the way up to Montana.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I went up to the cold and the mountains and the snow as a Southern girl, and I worked with the state of Montana on youth suicide and substance use prevention for a year. It was super fun, and I met my husband up there, and then so I just kind of let the wind take me, and I'm so glad that it took me there because it was absolutely a wonderful experience, and I loved every minute of it.
Oh, that's awesome. So that sounds like a really important job, what you did with AmeriCorps. Tell me a little bit more about what you did and how important that is.
Yeah, so I worked as a AmeriCorps Vista volunteer in service to America. So we volunteer all across the country, and I worked as basically an intern is kind of what it is, but I worked on a specific project where I was helping to not only create a database of different programs that schools can use to bring awareness to these issues with young people, but also I created about a 25 page document on how communities and community members can create different programs within their communities to help better the lives and lifestyle of their young people so that they can help anyone who may be having suicidal thoughts or tendencies, who may be struggling with substance abuse. How can we, as a local government, create policies that are going to prevent young people from being in a space where they may be tempted by these things? So it was a huge document. It was really a great experience to get to work on it and to have the accomplishment under my belt. I feel like it really helped a lot of people, and it hit close to home. I've had a lot of friends and family in my life that have struggled with some of these exact issues. So doing that work made me feel like I was really making an impact for people just like those that I cared about.
Yeah, well, and I think it's important because sometimes there's some people who don't support the pro-life position who may think that all we care about is, babies in the womb, when really we care about the livelihood and the welfare of everybody. We just see the attack on human life at the beginning as egregious and we need to stop it. But you're an example of someone who your pro-life position probably grows out of your general care and welfare for everyone.
Absolutely. And one thing that we talked about a lot was the stream method, the idea of we need to start upstream. What's happening upstream that's causing all of the issues downstream? Montana's a very outdoorsy state. They have a lot of these analogies, but I see it mirrored within the pro-life movement that the pro-life movement is starting upstream. There are so many issues within our country, within our world, and within society that they do need attention, and they are getting attention, whether we see it or not. There are people every day that go to work and work on a lot of these issues. But at the same time, we know in the pro-life movement that the upstream issue, the foundation of it, is abortion and is making sure that the most vulnerable and youngest of us have those rights. And so I think it's really important that people see not only that we're starting upstream and we're starting at that foundation, but we do care outside of it, right? Louisiana Right to Life does so many things like the diaper drives and your item drives and things like that to help people beyond the womb. And Students for Life does the same thing with the Standing With You initiative. So the pro-life movement cares beyond the womb, and we show that, but it's also, that foundation of we need to start at the roots.
Right. Well, then from AmeriCorps, at some point you decided to do this, but let's back up. Why pro-life? Like, what motivates you to care as much as you do to do this?
Yeah, genuinely, I've been told by family that I just have a very big heart. I just care for people more than I guess other people would. But I also see it as how I grew up and how my family is. And beyond just faith, I think watching my mom, who was a teen mom, who has never even indicated that there was ever a second guess. Like she never would have made that decision. She would never have that in her head, that she knew that the life in her was special and was full of dignity, and that life cannot be taken away by her or anyone else. That really stuck with me throughout childhood. And even when she was pregnant with me, there were circumstances in which people would have told her it's okay to choose this. No one could have said that to her and have been like, you're right. So she's just a strong woman that's such a good representation of what it means to be pro-life that it definitely impacted me. And it must have impacted my older sister because she also was a teen mom, and there wasn't a question in her mind that she wouldn't have her child. I mean, our entire family is based off of so many different pro-life, it just the beauty of creating life and keeping the value of life sacred. My mom was adopted too.
And wow.
So I mean,
Wow. It really is all over the place.
my mom was adopted. So that one woman who chose the life of her child, even though she wasn't going to raise that child, she chose to give that child life, created generations of women. And that is just beyond measure to me. That just blows my mind every time I say it out loud, that one woman chose life and then another woman chose life and then another, and that's it. That's all it is. And that's how our world is. It's just a series of life giving, right? Giving that gift of life that only a woman can give birth, right? And so I think it's an absolutely beautiful thing. And I absolutely adhere to stand and speak to that and say that this is beautiful and it is life-changing and it is something that we can't deny.
Yeah. Well, we've had so many amazing pro-life women leaders in Louisiana, and I'm just excited you're helping me continue on that leadership that women have had in the pro-life movement, really pushing back against that myth that women somehow should be pro-life, when it's really the women in Louisiana that are leading the cause and the charge here.
Absolutely. And I think that my mom is such a good example of how the pro-choice movement says, you need to abort your child to continue your dreams. You need to abort your child to be successful. My mom is really successful. My mom is not only an amazing mother of 4 children, but is a woman in an amazing position in her company. She's in management within her company. She has really become a breadwinner in our family, and she has provided every single thing she could ever imagine for her children. That's all she's ever wanted to do, was to provide for her children. And she's done everything that she's set out to do. So I think that's where, as a society, we need to sit back and say, we're telling women you can't do something because of something else. And that's not women's empowerment. Women's empowerment is, you can do anything, no matter what. You can do it as long as you set your mind to it and you put the work in. And she's a beautiful example of that.
Amen. Well, I look forward to meeting your mom.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Well, that's awesome. Okay, so in Montana, your AmeriCorps ends. Obviously, you have this pro-life commitment. What leads you back to Louisiana to take on this position and this role and to cover the SEC for the pro-life cause?
Yeah, so I met my husband up there, and we got married back in March. And so we were kind of discussing, he was graduating from college and we were getting married, and we needed to, kind of start our life somewhere. And me being up there for 3 years, I had met this family and got to know them really well. And family's really big here in Louisiana, right? So I was like, I want you to come down. I want you to spend time with my family. I think we should spend, some time in Louisiana again. So I started looking for jobs, and I have always followed, Kristen Hawkins and Charlie Burke, a bunch of different people who spoke on the pro-life issue. And I went and found their job board, and I looked, and they were starting a position up here in New Orleans. And I said, well, this is just perfect. It's all falling into place. I had actually applied for a job with them previously, but I applied in the Pacific Northwest. I'm not from the Pacific Northwest, so I think it was pretty smart on their part.
Montana's one thing, Pacific Northwest is another thing.
Yeah. So I would have been covering it all, and I don't even like driving in the snow, to be honest. Yeah. So I don't think it would have worked out very well.
No Southerner likes driving.
No. So I ended up not getting that job, and then I found this one. I was like, well, I already wanted to work here, so this is perfect. And it really did fall into place. It was beautiful timing, and I thank God for it every day.
Amen. Well, tell me about some of your experiences so far in the position on campus, stories, groups that you've started, notable students who are doing amazing work. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Absolutely. I met some really amazing people through this work, and we've started a couple groups. So there's a group at Nichols that they used to have a group, and it kind of died off. Well, we've got them back up and running this year, and the
campus is in Thibodeau, for
yes.
So, it's not part of a joke for this class. It's a real city here.
Yeah. So that group's starting up, and they've got a long list of things. We also have a group at NSU and Natchitoches that started up here recently in the Gallatin. She's got a lot of great things in the works. So we have these groups that are ready and on fire and looking to get out there next semester. With tablings, working with the pregnancy centers, things like that. We actually had a group start up in the fall at LSUA. And Hagen, who's the president of that group and founder of that group, oh my goodness, he has so many things he wants to accomplish, and he's accomplished a lot of them. We did a pro-life prayer vigil one night. It was beautiful. It was candlelit. It was beautiful. We had music, live music. He also did the Cemetery of the Innocents display. So we put out a cross for every life lost to abortion out of Planned Parenthood every day. And so that was absolutely amazing to get to have dialogue with students on campus about that. But LSUA's been doing a lot of really great things. And then we've got these other few colleges that are starting some up. And then I'll be out talking to more students on campuses next semester doing the cemetery display on campuses across the state. So I'm really excited to try to get more groups started up. But I know that the students over at UL did the expo of y'all's. That's absolutely wonderful. Yeah. I think the dialogue that happens in watching students have dialogue with their peers is one of the most rewarding things. Getting to see, because I do a lot of trainings with students where we go through kind of pro-life apologetics. How do we talk to people about our pro-life views? What are some of the statistics? What are kind of the nitty-gritty things of the pro-life movement? And then to see them actually take that and go use that on their campuses is amazing. It's so cool to see.
Yeah, one of the groups that either you started or helped became the group of the week or the month or something across the country.
LSUA was the
Alexander, LSUA and Alexander.
Yes, they were the group of the month back in October.
Okay, that's
and
cool.
so Hagen was super excited about that. I was super stoked that they got it as well. So they were acknowledged on the national Instagram and all of that. They got a fetal model set, small fetal model set that they'll get to take when they do tablings, things like that. So yeah, definitely love to acknowledge those groups that are, not only going above and beyond, but they're really out there doing the work and executing with excellence every day.
Yeah. Well, because these students are volunteers, they got school, many of them have jobs, and this is totally lanyap in their life, trying to fit this in and just caring enough about the cause to take action.
And a lot of our presidents, a lot of our leaders that start these groups, they're further along in their college journey. So they're in junior year when they're applying for grad schools, or they're getting ready to take whatever tests they need to take to get into these grad schools. They're doing a lot of that stuff. Or they're seniors and they're getting ready to graduate. They're applying for jobs, or they're prepping to go into grad school. And I can only imagine, I think back to when I was a junior and a senior in college, and man, the amount of time that you devote to so many things. To say, I'm truly devoted to starting this group, I'm truly devoted to doing this work, is really inspiring. It's really motivating to see that. And it's hard in the pro-life movement, I'm sure to kind of get up every day and have so many people that are against you, but to see how many people stand with you, and especially these younger people, this young generation's pro-life generation, that really is something that drives at least me in this work.
Yeah, because my opinion is sometimes on campus, pro-abortion students are the most vocal. Often, especially in some of the campuses in Louisiana, the majority of students are pro-life, but they're not really looking to put their, to get involved or anything like that. But when there's pro-life activities on campus, students will come forward and say, oh, yeah, just kind of your average students would be like, oh, yeah, I'm pro-life. So it really, I think by having the voice on campus, even if a student on campus is not going to really get involved, I think what it does is it reassures or encourages other students that it's good to be pro-life, right? That I'm not extreme, right? I'm the right position, right? I'm the normal position in America and society. So it reassures students.
Yeah. And I think also one of the beauties of this role in particular, because we have campus formation coordinators all across the country. And I think what our role does more than anything else is supports those students, so they see us out on a campus and they give us, their email or phone number, whatever that is. And we follow up with them and we say, hey, you want to start this group? I'm going to help you. I'm going to be available for you to call me or text me, send me an email. I'm going to check in with you and make sure that, everything's going good on your end. Do you need help? Do you need help writing a constitution or getting this paperwork done with your school? Do you need help with recruitment? Can I send you a recruitment event in a box? And, having all of these free resources and then this person there to say you're not alone, I think is one of the biggest things that this position is for, is to tell those students that you are going to have as much support as you could ever possibly need to do this. We need you as the student to be willing to give us the chance to help.
Yeah. Well, in your time in this position, I know it's been a few years since you were in college yourself, but curious what challenges you see on pro-life issues that college students face today, in terms of what the abortion industry is doing, how college students are thinking.
Yeah, well, the abortion industry is absolutely targeting these college students and these college campuses. Planned Parenthood is trying to set up tables, and there's Planned Parenthood groups. There's these reproductive rights groups that are starting on campuses that are, actively going against what we're doing, the work that we're doing. And we want to help you make sure that you're making the right decisions, but we also want to help you when it comes down to getting the support that you need. That's what our pro-life students really want, is they want to support others and they want to help them make the correct decisions for their lives, right? And so what I think the struggle is that when they're on their campus and they say, I want to start a pro-life group, most of these students say, I want to do this because I see the struggle. I see my peers that are on my campus that are pregnant, that don't have the resources on our campus. That's one thing that we want to push more of is, can we get pregnancy parking on our campus? Can we, get more advisors that are going to help with scheduling and things like that for these pregnant students and these parenting students? What resources can we get on our campus, right? They want to do more of that. They want to do more work with the pregnancy centers. They want to get the pregnancy centers on campus. Their pregnancy resource center in Nichols would love to come set up a table and to tell students about the resources that they have, but they can't unless they're invited, right? So I think it's really important that we give these students the space to be supportive of women, to be supportive of their peers, and to be supportive of the pro-life movement in a way that is beyond just what they see on social media. Because social media shows the inflamed versions of everything, right? So they see the pro-choicers that want to steal signs and throw things and water on chalks and things like that. They see all of that, and then they see the pro-lifers that go out. They are really pushing a lot of these really extreme versions of the pro-life movement, more of this abolitionist view or things like that. But most of our students are just here to be a support and a guiding light of please lean on us, lean on each other.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, for college students out there right now, or maybe they're students in high school that are going to be graduating, what's your recommendation for them as they are in college or maybe going into college?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is lots of resources on the Students for Life webpage. If you're looking to get involved, you can fill out a form and say where you're going to school and things like that. And if there's a group there, we'll connect you with them. If there's not a group there, then someone like me will reach out and we'll say, hey, do you want to start a group? Can I help you start a group? So that's my first recommendation, is to see if there's a group at the school that you're going to. And then if you are one of those people that maybe wants to be nitty and gritty and get out there and start your own group, definitely reach out. Definitely let me know. You can reach out to me on Instagram. You can reach out to me via the Students for Life webpage. There's lots of ways to reach out. But also I would say to get in touch with your local pregnancy resource center. No matter where you're at, like if you're a middle schooler, a high schooler, a college student, get in touch with them. See if you can volunteer. See what you can do in your life to help support mothers in need. It's one of the most rewarding things I think that you can do as far as charity and helping others and building your community.
Yeah. Well, and I think for those two students who have to start a group on campus, it may be kind of tough. It's like, and you may feel alone sometimes. I just think back to some of the students 15 years ago that started a pro-life group and went through the struggle, went through the trial to get it done, but that student group is still there. That person's moved on 15 years later, but your pro-life group is still there. So just for everyone who's struggling or in the midst of it or thinking about starting a group, is that the sacrifice you can make now can continue the pro-life movement for decades.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there, may have been a group. So like at Nichols, there was a group and it died off a little bit, but then there was that one student that came along and was like, we had a group. What happened? I want to restart that group. So I think, even if you're thinking long term or you're not thinking long term, the impact is sometimes like unseen, So there are groups that have helped save babies. There are groups that have actively helped to save babies and they'll never know. There are groups that have gotten call 4, 5, 6, 10 years later and was like, hey, you talked to me on campus one day. And that was everything to me. That literally changed the course of a life. So I think that it's important to remember that even if you don't see the good deeds of starting a group, they're there. It's beyond measure and it's absolutely so rewarding. And the struggle is absolutely there, but that's why there's groups like Louisiana Rights for Life. That's why there's groups like Students for Life with America, so that we can help you in every way that we possibly can. I could try to list all of the things that we have for free resources for our groups, but it's so long. I mean, it would take up the entire podcast. So, if you think that it's going to be a struggle, I promise you it's going to be 10 times easier if you reach out for help. Yeah, you're not in this alone. We're all in this together. We're all fighting for the same goal. So it's important to remember that we're here together and we're going to help support you as much as we can.
Awesome. Well, Cailey, thanks for your hard work for the pro-life cause and for helping grow the pro-life movement in Louisiana and across the Gulf Coast. So thanks for doing that.
Thank you so much. And thanks for all the work y'all have been doing here. I remember growing up and like, I have a picture where I'm holding the Louisiana Rights Life sign and never... like realizing like there's this whole, office down here in New Orleans. I was in Alexandria. So.
Yeah. Well, we had a kind of a person probably at that time in Alexandria. We were just, you came to one of our marches in Shreveport, so we were probably all there. And I mean, just, you never know, our life takes us. Keep up the good work, Cailey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. Appreciate it. If you want to get in contact with Cailey or Students for Life America, we're going to put her information in the show notes or description today. Make sure everyone likes and subscribes, help share the podcast, get involved with Louisiana Rights Life. Visit our website, prolifelouisiana.org. Remember, in January, we have all of our life marches, which we just mentioned, across the state. That's one in Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, Lafayette, Shreveport, Monroe. Did I get all of them? Maybe forgot one, but check out lalifemarch.com. You can take a look, be involved, get involved, love them both, stand up for life. Everyone, Merry Christmas. God bless.